So you're probably wondering why I'm dressed up right now. It's because I have fixed Smite. I have fixed Charybdis. According to the 11.5 update notes, so many changes that I have suggested have been implemented. I've already went over them, but I'm gonna cover them and give my full thoughts here. So let's just get right into it. I'm gonna cover the 11.5 notes. I'm gonna skip a lot of the stuff that I don't really care about, which is like duel and all the other modes that aren't ranked related. I'll skip the skins as well. I don't really care about the skins that much. I'll buy them, but I probably won't go into how they look and stuff. I'm just not that interested in that stuff. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna scroll past this. Okay, first things first. I'm actually a big finder of bugs. I have found so many bugs in this game, and I've like tracked a lot of them, and I've also reported a lot of them. So much so that I've decided to make a full video on bugs that I'm currently working on writing a script for. There's so many bugs that I know about that I want them to fix before Smite 1 is over or before Smite 2 releases. So I'm going to make a video on that, and hopefully that'll be out sooner rather than later. But let's get into the bug fixes that they have here. There's some change to the triple digits in some items, like I'm assuming Stormseeker is one of them. They're no longer truncated. That's good for that. I never really noticed that. Whatever. Fixed an issue that was causing some item icons to not load. This was seriously annoying. I don't know how they introduced this in the previous patch, but I'm so glad that it's gone. Holy crap. Okay. Conquest, something with NPC navigation in the Fire Giant Pit. I never noticed anything with this. I'm sure it was annoying for some characters. Not for any characters I played. Odin's Onslaught, gonna skip that. Shiva, fixed an issue where you could increase his ult rank prematurely. That's interesting. Never noticed that. Don't play that character enough, I guess. VGS fix, this is kind of a nothing burger. And then Athena, a buff to Athena via a bug fix. That's cool. Yeah, okay. I mean, it should work the way that it's originally designed to, so I can't get mad at this. All right, let's move on to game modes. Ranked is soft reset. That's good. Ranked was getting pretty stale, I'm not gonna lie. Odin's Onslaught returns. Wow, cool. Slash refreshed. Cool. Dual new gods. Cool. All right, don't care about literally any of that. Equinox nerfed. Good. Fuck this item, bro. This item is so boring. All you do is you pick this if you are any attack character and you're not into Cerberus in lane. That's literally it. You always pick this. Erlang, Bellona, Osiris, and any auto attack, Amaterasu, any auto attack god has to build this item. This item is bad for the game, I will say it. Honestly, I don't know if they nerfed it enough. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Also, the damage is slept on. Like, the damage does a lot to objectives, including Titan and Fire Giant. And really any objective that can turn its back to you. All right, Jotun's Wrath. Cost increase. That's good. This item has been pretty bloated for, like, since Smite has existed. So I'm glad it's finally getting a cost increase. This one was interesting, this Transcendence change. So I think the reason that they did this is they're trying to nerf mid lane hunters. Like Martikaros, mainly Neith. Neith, that freaking character is so crazy. And I know they nerfed her in this patch, and I'll get to that. But I think they're trying to target them. So I think this is a good change. I don't really see a lot of junglers building this item. Curse Weaver, this is like a anti-spell item. You mark them, and then they take damage based on your max health and mana as magical damage. You heal for the damage dealt. You can only apply one mark every 12 seconds. They're in 55 units of you. In casting an ability, they'll reduce the cooldown of this item's passive. All right. My prediction for this, since this has health and mana, we're going to see a lot of like this built with Warlock Staff and Ethereal Staff. You'll probably see this on like Op Wash. You'll probably see it on other mages with high health scaling, like maybe Zhongqi. And you'll probably see it maybe paired with Blood-Soaked Shroud. I think it really depends on whether you want to do damage or if you just want to become a heal bot. But I know healing is super counterable in Smite, so Might be a little troll to like invest all that just because it synergizes so well. And then not have like penetration or something. This one's interesting. You know, they make that trans change, right? And then they add something that's kind of similar for like this item to me is allowing more hunters to flex into the mid lane, I guess, as like an ability damage character, which I don't know if I like. So basically, you buy this item, it's really expensive. It's pretty poorly statted, honestly, for the amount of money that you get or you have to spend. And then once every 5 seconds, your next basic attack has half of its damage converted to physical ability damage. And it can trigger item effects. I guess like Heartseeker, Crusher, Bluestone, like all those can proc off an auto now. It might be better on like cleave characters, like maybe like a Heimdallr. Can use this item pretty well if you wanted to go an ability build. I know Heim ability build is crazy, by the way. It is so broken. His 2, the ticks of his 2 do like 150 damage each. So you do like 700 damage just from the horn blast, not even the explosion. It's insane. Anyway, I think this will be pretty good on Heim. It'll let him flex to the mid roll, I guess. Could be interesting. But I do think this is odd, like introducing this and then also nerfing trends to probably nerf mid lane hunters at the same time. That's just such an interesting choice. Anyway, I also see this being built on Artemis, and I think Artemis is going to be really good as well because of the later changes to pets and stuff in this patch. So watch out for ability damage Artemis this patch for sure. Cursed Orb, cost nerf. I think this is fine. This item was a little pricey. This definitely was pricey. Doom Orb was pretty expensive, even though it is good. I agree with this. This item was never built. Telkines literally does more damage in almost all cases than this item. So this is good. Bancrofts, I think this is fine. This item doesn't have any pen. It can be a good power item early game, but it falls off towards the late game because there's no pen. So I don't mind this. Wow, this is, I didn't read this. This is my first time reading this. 2 basic attack power per passive stack. Okay. So you can get, I think there's 20, so that's 40 basic attack power. So you're getting 40 basic attack power. That's pretty good on mages because I think that equates to like 200 power, right? Because I think it's a 20% conversion rate. That's really good. That's really good. This is going to be a core item for mage ADCs, 100%. Bancroft's Claw. I think this item, yeah, they're just cost adjusting it because they adjusted this base one. This item still has no real identity, I think. The only time I would ever pick this up, I think, is if I was going Sigil. And the reason is Sigil has no MP5 and you just can't really clear wave very well at all with it. So I think this having like health for a little bit more, like being able to stay alive in lane, and then also the power, and then also the CDR, also the MP5. I think these 2 items will work pretty well together. Might even be why they put them together on this list here. I'm still shocked this item doesn't have any MP5. I think this item is kind of impossible to build in the solo lane because if you fall behind and they invade your blue buff or something, you kind of just get shit on in lane, like literally until the end of the game. And then you fall so far behind. Like you need your jungler to help rotate. You need to have some sort of pressure on totem or something to stay alive. I like the change though to add the magical power back. I love Kuzenbo with the exploding sigil. And the reason why is because you already shouldn't be hitting Kuzenbo, right? Because he's got thorns and everything. So you're just punishing them even more if they hit you. So you get thorns, you get your spike shell or whatever, your 2. And then you also get this item and you're literally just dealing so much damage. Like stop hitting yourself, like that kind of thing. So I'm really excited to see what people can do with Kuzenbo in this item. Not super happy to play against it, but super happy about the possibilities in general. Bologna nerf, this is really good. This character has been pretty strong for a while. I do think the movement speed was a problem. I think the protections were really strong early game. And I do think Scourge was a little bit strong in lane as well for being like basically a hit scan ability. Neith's first ever nerf, which is insane considering she's been in the game since day 1. They increased her backflip cooldown, and they increased the cooldown of her ult, and then decreased the damage scaling. This is crazy that this character is finally getting nerfed. But yeah, I mean, she's just really good. She can ult you for 1,000 damage late game. and you can't really do anything about it. So, definitely needed nerf. Hachiman, I do think this character was really strong. It seems like they've almost reverted this item or this ability back to its previous state. I do think this item was super easy to or this ability was super easy to confirm, like damage wise. So I'm happy that they're nerfing this. It's really hard to miss this ability. And 310 is like that's a lot for a hunter. 310 base. Guan Yu is in a pretty bad state. I think the last time he was good was when his Talu Assault Prot Shred stacked 4 times instead of 3. I don't think he's been good since. So I'm really glad he's getting some love here. Getting some increased physical protections. That's good for Warrior v Warrior lanes. He's also getting some mana cost reductions. I do think his mana was a little bit crazy, so he won't get so far behind in lane if he like loses blue buff or something. And his ult's getting a little bit more damage. This ability does a lot of damage, by the way. Like surprisingly, a lot of damage. So I wouldn't be surprised if people were like running this character in the jungle for whatever reason. This was kind of crazy to me. I don't know why they decided to decrease her range and then immediately change it back. Like I don't know why they did that. I do think it's insane to have a dash that goes 55 units and then have a leap that goes 65 on a jungler. Like, am I crazy? Like, I don't even think Susanoo can go that far. Like, Susanoo dashes what, like 40 units and then can like 355 or something? Yeah, like this character is pretty much the most mobile in the game, again. So yeah, I just think this is a weird change. Also, they made her tankier, even though like last season or the season before that, they purposefully made her less tanky so she'd get out of the freaking support role. So yeah, just interesting. This is fine, I guess. I don't really see a problem with that. Mana cost for Terra. I love Terra. Terra's one of my favorite characters to play right now. I think she's really strong. They doubled her healing, by the way, which is kind of crazy. I don't think it was very good beforehand, like the healing. Right now, I think at max rank, you can only get up to 200 health from this ability. Like if you stood in it for 10 seconds, but now you can get 400. This is pretty good now. This ability is already pretty broken. I think this ability is really, really strong. And they made it even more frequent. So you can feel less bad about using it in team fights. This is weird. I guess the passive is fine. I didn't really think Merlin was in need of buffs at all. I thought Merlin was pretty okay. He just has to make it to late game, and even in the mid game, he still does a lot of damage. Yeah, this is fine, I guess. You're not really going through 2 ability rotations in this stance anyway, so whatever. I don't know. Maybe you are early game, and maybe that's what this is targeted to. I do think the 20 base is going to hurt a lot early game. Like the extra 10 damage, that's going to be a little... That's going to make him hurt definitely more early. This is interesting. I think Kukulin has always felt good to me. I don't think I've ever played him and had him feel like really, really bad. So I'm kind of surprised that they buffed him so much. He's getting a bigger shield. He's transforming faster. He's getting more CC, which I think this is good. And then he's getting a lot of MS. A lot more MS, like 4% more on his 2. So that's really good. I think this character did maybe need a little bit of love. And I'm kind of happy with the directions that they went with it. Like, don't give him damage necessarily, because he already does a lot of damage, but give him some other utility. Let's see. Medusa's already really hard to hit in lane because of her passive, and it just got worse. I'm really excited about that. The amount of axes and stuff I've missed on this character is, like, trying to hit this character is crazy. So we'll see about that. One thing I wish they would change about acid spray is I wish they would fix the effects so you could actually tell like you're getting hit by it, or like what the range actually is. Because sometimes you just stand at the very end of the hitbox and you get hit by something for like 500 damage, and you're like, what the fuck just hit me? Like, what actually just hit me? I didn't see anything on my screen, and suddenly I'm 500 health lower. Yeah, I guess the character didn't really do a lot of damage, so it's fine. It's fine. Like, a lot of damage to minions. She does a lot of damage, but I mean a lot of damage to minions. Maui, I think, is really... He's such a high pressure, like, driven character. Like, if you lose pressure on Maui, you just kind of lose the game. Arc range is increased on his passive. That's good. This will probably be kind of hard to feel because the mark only lasts for but so long anyway. And like you'd have to get within auto attack range to be able to get the mark. So I think this will be kind of hard for you to get a lot of benefit out of. This is good. Removed self slow and the vortex strength. This ability was already really strong. If you could hit it, I think this is just more rewarding overall. I don't really think this was necessary. I thought this ability was already pretty much on a pretty low cooldown early game. So I didn't really think that this was necessary, but it's still a good change overall. This is good. I actually do think Mauiel is really strong. Probably one of the best support ults in the game. But I do think it's sometimes pretty easy to miss. Like people can juke out of it pretty easily. If they're like paying attention. So I don't disagree with changing this like this, especially for the early game. This Ymir change is probably directly from Smite 2 feedback, because Ymir can now rotate during the pre-fire of its ability. He can do that in Smite 2. He still can't in Smite 1. I'm really glad that they're bringing that change from Smite 2 into Smite 1. The Hera change, double hit area is increased by 50%. This is really good. A lot of people don't know, like, kind of like how Terra 2 works. There's a double hit area where the two fists, like, they meet in the middle, and if the character's in the middle, if the enemy's in the middle, they take increased damage. Similar with Terror Wall. Terror Wall, if you collapse it on an enemy, they don't always get hit by both. Sometimes they only get hit by one. This is a weird one. This ability can now be cast inside of walls. All right. Cool, I guess. I don't really think anyone was complaining about this. This is a little weird. Olorun, low performer all the year. I played this character like yesterday, and he just felt so diveable, so killable, and it really felt like there was not really any potential for me to do anything in the mid to late game. Like in the early game, I destroy my lane opponents, and it's totally fine. I can 1v1 the ADC, and I never lose. But when it comes to team fights, I just get dove, and I die, and there's not really anything I can do. So maybe this will give him some increased trading potential. It definitely will in lane. Maybe it'll give him some more in the late game as well. I mean, it will, but maybe it'll make it a little bit harder to dive him. Ability now deals increased damage the longer you charge it. I always thought it was weird that this didn't do more damage the longer you charged it. So I'm kind of happy they went that direction. Consecration, decreased cooldown from 14 to 12 seconds. This is good. I think this ability is pretty strong. It gives a lot of procs. It gives a lot of healing as well. And it's a really strong knock up and slow. Like in his ult, like you're CC'd for like 2 seconds in the sky, unable to do anything. So this is a pretty big buff. I think this is a pretty big buff. Looking forward to seeing more all around alongside the Nimble Bancroft's change and some other changes like Cyclopean Ring as well. This is big. I'm so excited about this. Mulan is really fun just because she can spam abilities so much. Just like the Ymir change. The Divine Mastery here. This is already live, by the way, in case you were wondering. I'm pretty sure they shadow buffed her, and they're saying that it's a part of this patch, even though it's already live. All right. Fafnir gets 1 gold per enemy god hit with abilities. During his ultimate, he gets 2 gold per proc. So does this like proc on his one AoE slow? Like if I AoE slow multiple people, do I get 1 gold for each? I don't know. Or do I just have to deal damage? Okay, I don't think you're gonna get a lot of gold from this personally. I think Fafnir's you'll get some gold. You'll get some. Maybe you get a lot from his too. This is really good. I thought he stood still for way too long. Also, why don't they make him CC immune? Like, why don't they show the CC immune thing in his ult when he's detransforming? Like, why does he not glow gold? Like every other character that's CC immune. I don't know. I don't know why they don't do that. I should add that to my bugs for my please fix video I was talking about earlier. Fafnir can now proc basic attack items effects with his Dragon's Breath. Okay, there's a whole section on this. We'll get to that later. Ishel heals herself when hitting an enemy god, in addition to healing when hitting allied gods. That's good. Allows her to outtrade a lot without being reliant on her team. She'll be pretty good after this change, I think. Okay, we're getting to the good part. Bastet is, in my opinion, the strongest jungler in the game right now. And the reason why, I think she's so hard to hit, she's so hard to lock down, and her cat is just so frustrating to play against because it can tank tower. It'll keep out aggro of the tower as you dive the enemy until the cat dies, and then she could just leap back out. So it's a free tower dive. Also, her ult is so broken against immobile characters, especially supports. If supports don't go beads against Bastet, they pretty much just die on cooldown. So this character is just really, really strong right now. Does a lot of damage, heals a lot, has a lot of CC, has a lot of dive potential, is very safe, and yeah. So this change decreases the cat's health, which is good. I think that needed to be done. The cat is now damage and CC immune, though, until it reaches an enemy and reaches its max range. Or reaches its max range. I think that's fine. Ultimately, the health... Let's say, you're trading with the Bastet in the previous patch, or the current patch. You're gonna hit the cat probably at least once while it's traveling to you. So it'll already have a health of 2 by the time it hits you, probably. So I don't really think this change matters all that much, this one here. I think if people are upset about this, they might be overthinking this a little bit. The only thing that I think is affected by this is throwing your cat through a whirlpool or something like that, you know what I mean? Now the cat will dash all the way through the whirlpool instead of stopping on the whirlpool for whatever reason. And you can't root the cat while it's flying at you or something. So I guess there's a little bit of counterplay gone there, but I think you could just think of this now as a normal line ability. There's no collision basically with CC effects anymore. It's supposed to feel like a line ability. I think that's what they were looking. The initial hit of this ability now damages and roots all enemies in a 10-unit radius around it. I like this change. I always kind of hated that they made it single target. I thought it was just it just made it feel a little worse. But this is definitely a buff to Bastet, I would say. So I don't agree with these changes, by the way. I think they should nerf her in general. I think they just did a bug fix last patch that fixed her damage on her too to do more damage, because I think the first tick was doing less than it should have. So I don't know. This character is going to be so insane, especially since they're adding item proc effects on cats later on in the patch. Pick her every game, seriously. So for those of you that don't know, I made a video called The Charybdis Problem last month, and I added some proposed changes towards the end of the video. And I'm really happy to say that they pretty much implemented half of them, but they overall touched the main problem points that I had with the character. So let's get into that now. Her Tide was stacking too slow, and since she had to use Tide for all of her abilities to make them usable, aside from her ult, to make them good, I guess, we'll put it that way. I'm really happy that they increased the amount of Tide that she gets per basic attack. This is a really good change. It'll probably make her feel less punished for using abilities and getting the benefit from them. So I'm looking forward to this. They decreased the full charge time for cap size from 1 second to 0.75. Now you can cast this in a team fight and get back to auto attacking even faster now. And this was one of my suggestions. It's this one. Number 4, make her to charge faster and cost less Tide, but they didn't do that. So really happy about this change. Whirlpool form, you get CC immunity now while firing this. That's so... This just completely fixed this ability. This ability is so good now. And they nerfed it alongside it, which I think is such a good idea as well. I think being untargetable for whatever it is, 3-4 seconds, is good enough. So I think removing the movement speed, but keeping the movement speed for when it's amplified, this is such a good balanced change. And to fix the clunk of the ability, I think it's just so good. And then the Maw Hungers, immediately after you fire it and it stretches out, it chomps down instead of having that slight delay. All right, so that's Charybdis. I'm really excited about these changes. I kind of wish they did like a little bit more, I guess, with maybe like reworking how Tide works, because I still think there's that obvious clunk of like expending attack speed to do damage with abilities. Like that's still around, but this overall should just make her feel so much better as a character. Make her feel like a little bit more cohesive character. One last thing that I wanted to mention, apparently, according to my sources, they were already implementing these changes when I released the video. So I can't really claim that I fixed Charybdis, but I can say that I am a prophet. We'll leave it at that. Item proc pass. Okay, so looks like they added the ability to proc items to a lot of characters. They added it to Bake Kujira. This character actually has some depth now and isn't boring. They added it to Yorm. They added it, or they modified Charybdis. Yorm is going to be fun. Charybdis gets 33% damage and healing on her triple attack, which is good. I like this change because it allows her when that's active, to be full basic attack damage item procs. Really happy about that for Charybdis. Although I do think that they could maybe change this to 0.4. We'll have to see how it feels. But if I remember correctly, the damage is 0.4 times. So why not have the scaling of the items and healing also be 0.4? I don't know. Just like a consistency thing for me. Conformity maybe even. Dragon. Fafnir dragon damage 25% and healing also 25%. That's going to be interesting. I'm happy that they're allowing these characters to build more items without them just not working. So I'm happy about that. In a similar vein to the basic attack item effects from above, we're exploring the new possibility of pet abilities proccing item effects. Okay, this is a lot. Scotty's Calder Dash now can proc item effects. Yay. I think Scotty might be one of the most frustrating characters to play against. Tiamat, Summon Beast Charge. This character did not need any more item procs, but that's okay. I mean, I guess you could already proc items with her ultimate if you just send out the tornado. So it's not really a problem. Artemis Boar Charge. This character is going to be kind of good with Bluestone, guys. Kind of good. Vulcan. This ability literally can't miss. You should probably build item procs on it. Bastet. This character already uses item procs like crazy. So this character's got buffed. I guess the like scaling for all these is a little bit different as well. Like some of these do 75% damage, 50%, and 100%. I wonder if they're even going to note this in game, or if they're just going to expect us to have this knowledge. Like will they put this on the abilities? I don't know. Probably not. Nuwa Clay Soldier does ability damage now. So does Argus Divine Shroud Aura, Argus Slam, and Set Clone Skewer. I did not think about Set when I was initially reading these changes, so that's interesting. I wonder if like each skewer will do item damage. I don't know how this is working. Like honestly, I didn't watch patch notes. I probably should. But anyway, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna open PTS and I'm gonna try Charybdis right now. And you guys get to experience my thoughts on how she feels. We'll do like jungle practice or something, just real quick. I have not seen any gameplay of her changes at all. Just FYI. I've only read them. So I'm really looking forward to this. So she has full item proc damage now. So let's just go. Let's go Death Toll. Let's actually go Embrace. We're gonna go Devos. We're gonna go XC. We're gonna go this item. We're gonna go Kinsai. We're gonna go Odibo. We're gonna go Titan's Bane. Okay, you know what? This is pretty low attack speed, so I'm gonna change this out. Let's get Mannequin Mate. Why not? Yeah, look at how fast her Tide meter is stacking just from from minions. That's so much better. Like it's literally 1.5 times faster. Oh, I'm missing autos on minions. Oh my god, it's like playing Poseidon now. Like Poseidon stacks his passive meter so fast. Okay, let's try it on Odin. So I guess you only need to hit like 30 autos to fully stack it, right? And then, ooh. Wow, that feels much faster. I wonder if it starts charge more. Wow, okay, and then, did you CC immune? That's cool. Yeah, she's not got the movement speed boost anymore, but she should get it. There you go. There you go. Whoa, okay, wait. Whoa, are the spike shots stacking this? Was that happening before? Oh. Okay, yeah, maybe it's always done that. I haven't noticed. All right, no, overall that's very good. I like making the passive match the amount of tide you get for the splinters. I'm not gonna lie, I did not know that her splinters stacked her passive, like the splinter damage. I just figured that it was like the AoE, like passing through minions, but no, I mean that makes sense. Let's see, last thing I want to try is the ultimate.
Imagine being the first guy to die.
Am I crazy?
That's embarrassing.
That didn't really feel that much different. That didn't feel that much different. Okay. I see what happened. So if you push them, it'll chomp down before they get a chance to move. Okay. Got it. All right. Yeah, that's much better, I think. That definitely feels way better. I'm super happy with the change. Like, yeah, like they're literally moving until it chomps down.
Wow, that's like 1
So,
to 1.
Okay, cool.
Right, you're not
Yeah, no, I love those changes. I'm really happy that they decided to make the tide match between these two abilities. I'm really happy with the increased, or I guess the decreased channel time to get the max value at a cap size. I'm really happy about the 3 change, being able to be CC immune while trying to cast this. That's really, really good. And even though they removed the movement speed, I still think this ability is insane. And the old change, of course, is just wonderful. Like, having the confidence to know that your ult is going to hit if you push them is it's so vastly different. It actually looks like it pushes them slower now. I could be a little bit crazy, but it does seem like it's pushing them away slower. I wonder if that was the way they decided to approach the fixing the hitbox. Yeah, it's definitely pushing them away slower. But I like it. I really like the changes. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching my patch notes review. Really excited about the Charybdis changes, but I'm also really excited about being able to build basic attack items on characters like Bake or Yorm, like that kind of stuff. Really good patch by Titanforge. Keep an eye out for my bugs video. I should be releasing that someday in the near future. Got to put a lot more time into writing and video editing and recording footage and yeah, all that stuff. But thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya.